Hey, welcome back to the show. Today, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, anime. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying this series. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. It's just a really great series. It never disappoints me. I'm always just really happy after watching these episodes. They're just so well done. It's just, I love the characters. I love the story. And this week's episode did not disappoint at all. It was just really well done. This week's Attack of the Ogres. Basically just to summarize, as Rimuru familiarizes himself with his form and his abilities he inherited from Shizu, the goblins come under attack by a group of ogres, who claim that Rimuru has been manipulated orcs to attack their village, because apparently their village has been attacked. But anyway, just to start out for a quick, I'm just going to do a brief recap because I've noticed some people have mentioned that they kind of want it a little bit shorter because some people have mentioned that I'm trying to get it into a way of showing it because I can't outright show video, like a ton of video, or else it'll get taken down. But I can show stills, so that's the way I'm doing, so I can talk about it and show pictures without, getting flagged, because I can't do it that way with commentary, because I'm reviewing and I'm commentating on a episode without actually showing the video. But basically, he's just, they start out the episode, he's just kind of, supervising. He's getting really more, I've noticed as the episodes went more along, he's got more and more comfortable with being a leader. At first he was kind of like apprehensive about it, even though in his former life, he kind of, he was kind of a leader. He's kind of an older character. He's kind of fell into that role. He completely understands. He's okay with being a leader. He's leading. And you see, he of course keeps Shizu's mask, which comes in handy, and we'll get to that in a minute. And he's still, he's not really saddened by her death. He accepts it. He still remembers. He still remembers her. He has fond memories of her. I like the way they did that. But we also see in this episode he likes to play around with his newfound powers and abilities, trying out his form. By the way, I took a lot of flack in the last episode because I really did. I was kind of curious what the gender was. Well, in this episode, we finally get to the big reveal about what his gender is, and I'll get to that in a moment. We finally get to see that he, sure enough, has more of a male form. I mean, that's obvious from the picture. And even he kind of himself kind of hints at, like, I am, I kind of know what I am, and, he likes this new body. He can smell and see, it's got a human form. It's been a while since he's been in a human form, and he's trying out his new skills, and he tries also to duplicate. And he's kind of taken back by seeing his own body, his new body. And he's kind of like, whoa, like there's a naked dude over there. Or a naked person, as it turns out. But as he goes to analyzing, he kind of answers some questions I've had. Is he, kind of a male, or is he genderless? And he's kind of like wondering this himself. And, he's kind of like checking himself out. If you could split yourself in two, and no perverted thinking on this, just if you could split yourself in two, would you not do the same things he's doing? Just be taking aback, kind of taken aback, like, whoa, there's this other me over there, like, and you're kind of like checking yourself out, like, hey, this is what what other people see. This is what I look like, and that's what he's doing. It's kind of well done. It's kind of funny, and like most of us, he has kind of a perverted thoughts. He tells some perverted jokes. It's well done. It really makes the episode really fun and really worth watching. And again, they show no real nudity. You clearly get to see that he's nude, but there, other than a butt shot here and there, and they show just enough about at where the what's the saying, the goody trail is. They get to that level, and they don't really show you that. They show you enough that you tell he's genderless without, and I'll just get to that shot. And I love the way he's peeking. He's like looking at the like, oh, I can't look, that like old anime thing. And that was hilarious. And by the way, I know that this episode is going to be the most paused parts of this episode and probably the series. Well, maybe not. There's a lot of stuff in the series probably that gets paused, but I know there's like a million people that pause this point around this parts of this episode, like just curious like I was. Well, is he male? Is he female? Like, but it's hilarious. It's just he's kind of peeking at himself, literally. And even gets down, stoops, and is like looking like at himself, like, well. And I think at this point he tells like a joke, something along the lines, well, I lost a son or something, like giving the reference, letting you know, even though they're not showing that he obviously has he has no Frankenbeans down there, and he doesn't have a Volvo. Without trying to get really dirty, there's no genitalia down there, which is kind of hilarious. And it does answer what I've always, and he gets into that, and he explains what, he's thinking to himself, but he's more or less telling us, yes, he has more of a male figure and a body type, but he obviously is, and got a little bit of a female mix because of the Shizu's body, but he is more male, but he is genderless. He's I guess you could say he's a transgender since he used to be a male. Yes, he is a transgendered anime character. Anyway, it's and he gets to thinking about his powers, and and then he comes up with the idea, like, wait, I can make duplicates of myself. So he decides to make this like Fabio-ish, like, big muscled Arnold Schwarzenegger looking dude, male version of himself. And he's sitting there like, whoa, I look great. And then he says, well, wait a minute. I look great as this, but, it's kind of weird. He's checking himself out. That's a muscled up male, And then he goes, well, wait a minute. Let me see what a female looks like, a female woman. And then he's like, whoa. But it is hilarious. So he's like, it's him aging his duplicate up, but yet he's getting embarrassed about his own self, as a female. And he's like, even like doing the like waving, like, no, that's wrong. Why did I do that? It's just hilarious. I love that part of the episode. But anyway, that was really good. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. Hopefully by the time, if you're watching these recap episodes, you've already seen the episode. But and I love the fact that when he goes and talks to everyone and he says like, hey, look, I can, I got a real body now. I can actually go eat with you guys, and it's like, hey, go prepare a meal. I'm ready to eat, obviously he's been eating, but he's more or less been absorbing things, and analyzing them. Now he can actually taste, see, smell, and, I thought that was pretty cool. And he goes into the cave, the Tempest Cave, I believe that's what it's called. I meant to write that down. He's trying out his skills, and he's trying to train, and he really sees that, wow, I have a lot of power at my disposal, and he realizes quickly, I really need to get this before I use this around anyone, I need to really work at this, so I don't hurt anyone. And I like the fact that he uses Shizu's mask, her power suppressing mask, which makes him look like a badass character with that on. I really like that, that look. It just has that mysterious, like, it just gives him a cool aura. I like that look, with the jacket, the mask, the blue hair. He just has that, like, don't F with me look, Meanwhile, he sent his other, I don't forgot all their names. He sent a group out to go, hunt. Well, they more or less get attacked, and they're really getting their butts kicked. That's like he gets like an emergency page, basically, and they are literally getting their butts handed to them. I mean, it's and we finally get to see the group, the Ogres, that are, they're badass looking. I gotta say that is really a really cool looking group. They look like somebody you don't want to mess with. They look the perfect blend of like sexy meets do not mess with me. I will eat your lunch and eat your friend's lunch because I am just that powerful. They just got that really cool look. And of course, Shizu, Rimuru shows up. He calm everything down. Like, hey, what's going on? He's a true leader. Like, hey, everybody, calm down. Hey, down a notch. What's going on here? And it turns out, yeah, they more or less have mistaken him for being some kind of like evil entity that is trying to annihilate them and is basically attack their people. They will not listen to reason, no matter what he tries to say to them, and they basically just stand there accusing him, no matter what he says, and even though it's what he's saying is making sense, they just literally are not listening. They are just so worked up because obviously they've been attacked, and they're just they just go into full attack mode. All right, a battle ensues, which I like this battle, and I love the scene where I meant to look up what the character's name is. She's a new character. I cannot remember. Anyway, her. I just love when he says, like, wow, you're huge. Like, and he's looking right at her boobs. I know that's not really... he's about like me. He's perverted, but he doesn't mean to be perverted. But he's obviously... That's exactly what he's thinking. And, like, he doesn't mean it. But he's, like, the first thing... He kind of was meaning it the other way, but he was looking that direction, so it makes it even funnier. And then he realizes, oh wait, no, I didn't mean it that way. Like, well, she starts attacking him, and everybody goes into full attack mode. But it becomes quickly evident that with him there, he easily takes them all down, down to the three remaining, and their leader, which is, I'm just going to say the head ogre at the minute. I don't forget what his name was. But anyway, he's pretty powerful himself. And he shows that, yeah, he's clearly the leader. And I like that old guy, the old ogre. He pretty much summarizes, he sees Rimuru use his power. And he more or less summarizes, like every power he's absorbed. Which freaks out, Rimuru. He's like, whoa, this guy is analyzed every power I've ever taken, and immediately, he has analyzed every power I've ever used, and he is like, telling me, like, almost like, you use this, you use this, you use this, the spider from this, and the webbing from that, and it kind of freaks him out for a minute. It's like, whoa, I got to take these guys serious. These guys, and that's the other thing, he chops off his arm. These guys are really badass. I mean, so Rimuru, of course, steps up his game. He says, wait, I got to take these guys serious. Things are getting out of hand. So he picks up his hand. He picks up his hand and he says, all right, it's on. Here we go. I'm just going to scare him into submission, he thinks. So he goes full, Super Saiyan on him. I mean, he doesn't go Super Saiyan, but he does the equivalent of, like, I'm just going to freak these guys out. I'm just going to show them, look. He takes his mask off, goes full power. He's just like, all right, here it is. I am just way outclassed you guys. Stand down now. Well, they more or less just say, like, look, I get the idea. Yeah, just to summarize, they say, look, you're more powerful than us, but I don't care. We're going to attack you. You attacked our village. I'm going to take you on anyway. And more or less come to at some point and to decide, like, something's not right here. The group finally, gets, they all get to, like, wait, something's not right. This guy clearly could annihilate us at any point he wanted. I don't think he's evil, and they stand down, which is good. And finally Rimuru is like, hey, look, I get it. You was attacked. I don't mean you any harm. I'm not the guy that did it. And they finally see, all right, he is a good guy, and they finally get along, and they really start, after they realizing they were wrong, they apologize for attacking them. I mean, they sincerely you can tell they're clearly good people, and they really apparently were attacked, and they just was really pissed and ticked off, and they really felt remorseful that they attacked the wrong person. But basically the episode ends, and they're walking back to the village, and they invite him to the meal that he was originally looking forward to that evening. So he invited him to go eat with them, and I thought that was a good way to end the episode. It had everything. It answered all my questions in this episode about whether he was a male or female, which it turns out he's male genderless. That's the term. He is male genderless. That's even a term. It's just that's the closest thing to describing what he is. But or he could be female, as we can see. He could be male or female. He could grow parts, I guess, if he wanted. He could be anything he wanted. He is gender bendable, I guess, including dragons. He can be dragons if he wants, male or female. He can be anything he wants. He's a shapeshifter now. But really, this episode it answered a lot of questions I had. It introduced some new characters that are really cool, which I can tell from the credits that that they're going to evidently be a part of the story going forward, and they're obviously good guys and good people. So I'm really looking forward to learning a little bit more about these characters, and I can't wait for the next episode. And I can't wait for the next episode. Anyway, that's all for this week. I really enjoyed this episode, and I really can't wait for next week. And this, like I said, this anime is awesome, and I highly I probably at some point will go back and rewatch these a couple of times. I just really have had a lot of fun watching these. And anyway, that's all for this episode. I want to keep these short and sweet, these recap episodes. Anyway, that's all for now. Catch you later.